overrated characters. We all know at least one. That one character who gets way too much hype, way too much praise, and way too much meat riding from the fan base. The type of character that you don't even understand what all the fuss is about. So today I'm gonna go over a few of them. Characters that are just hella overrated, in my opinion. And what better way to start than with the criminal mastermind and one of the most popular supervillains of all time, the Joker. And by Joker, I mean this one. And I already know the Joker fanboys are not gonna like this, but someone's gotta say it. This version of Joker is not it. Over the years, we've had a lot of Jokers. Some were great, some were okay, and some were... Yeah. The thing about Joker is DC treats him like a fire alarm. Every time they run out of ideas, every time they need attention, they bring back the Joker. Movies, games, animation, comics, he's everywhere. And the only reason this movie exists is not because the story needed to be told or because it added something new, but because Joker sells. Now look, Joaquin Phoenix is one of my favorite actors. The man can act. But this as a Joker story, as a Batman villain origin, as the character people call the greatest comic book villain of all time, nah. Not even close. Just because someone acts the hell out of a role does not mean the character is well written. People confuse great acting with great character depth, and those are not the same thing, because this Joker only survives on one thing, and it ain't smart writing. And let's be for real, this version of Joker is kinda dumb for a villain like Joker. He's socially awkward, incompetent, lacks basic intelligence, and is mostly just lucky. Everything that happens to him is either a coincidence or someone else being conveniently stupid. He's not strategic, he's not planning anything. He's just stumbling through life until things randomly work out in his favor. But the entire point of Joker is his intelligence. That's his real superpower. He doesn't have super strength, he doesn't have super speed. He can't fight Batman hand to hand. His strategy, manipulation, psychological warfare, being 10 steps ahead, those are his real strengths. And this Joker, bro can't even be one step ahead. Batman would wipe the floor with him. And my biggest issue with this version of Joker is simple. I never once felt threatened by him. The entire movie is begging you to feel sorry for him. Everything is society's fault, trauma's fault, everyone else's fault. And yeah, I get it. That's the point. But because of that, he never feels scary. Most of the movie, he was just sad, uncomfortable, and depressed. And look, I'm not saying every villain needs to be a cackling maniac, but Joker is supposed to make you uneasy. He's supposed to make you feel unsafe, but I did not once feel terrified of him. I was just concerned for him. And it's obvious this movie is heavily inspired by Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, both starring Robert De Niro, and then they cast him again just so Joker can kill him on live TV.
Coincidence? I think not!
And look, inspiration isn't a bad thing. Those are great movies, but this doesn't feel like a Batman villain origin. It feels like an indie trauma crime film that just happens to use the name Joker. And you know what? That's fine. It's a good movie as a movie, but as a Joker story, nah. If you replaced Arthur Fleck with a guy named Steve and removed all the Batman references, this movie would still work, and that's not a compliment. Also, why in God's name does everyone in this movie hate this guy? Kids beat him up, train dudes beat him up, Thomas Wayne punches him, society just keeps dogpiling him. And I get it, he's a victim, that's the point. But it starts feeling unrealistic because everyone around him is cruel for no logical reason. Like, the world isn't that cartoonishly evil, at least I hope not. But in this movie, everyone is just walking around waiting for their turn to dunk on this man. Another thing I noticed is how damn forced the climax actually is. First of all, why is a massive TV show publicly making fun of a guy who is clearly mentally unstable? Second, why does he even get invited on that show? Did he drop a viral song, win a championship, or run for president? The movie just needs him there for the climax, so it happens. Then suddenly, there's no studio security, no weapon screening. He sneaks in a gun easily, confesses his murders on live TV, and no one rushes the stage. Bro, this is a major television show. You're telling me there are no armed guards, no immediate response? He was just sitting there after blowing a guy's head off. And you know what I hate most about this version of Joker? This movie turned Joker from terrifying into an internet idol for depressed edgelords. People started romanticizing violence like this man is some misunderstood hero. Nah, bro. This is just a mentally ill man who never got proper help, love, or support. There is nothing to praise here. And the sequel, Folie à Deux, Folie à Deux, Folie à Deux, whatever, it flopped. hard. And it's not because people hate Joker. It flopped because people got tired of this version. You can only milk one character so many times before people stop caring. And DC's obsession with Joker is exhausting. Meanwhile, they've got villains like Mr. Freeze, Scarecrow, Two-Face, Court of Owls, Bane, Penguin, who finally got his own show, thank God, and Riddler. All of them could be explored more if DC stopped acting like Joker is the only villain that exists. Moving on, we've got Elsa, and I'm gonna be honest, this character has never made sense to me. All she really does in the entire movie is wear a pretty dress and sing one catchy song. That's it. And somehow everyone loses their mind over her. I just don't get it. Let's start from the beginning. Elsa's backstory was perfect for a strong character arc, childhood trauma, repressed emotions, dangerous powers she can't control, fear of hurting the people she loves. She literally had everything needed for great storytelling. But the movie does nothing with it. They set up this emotionally complex character and then just leave her there. She starts the movie scared and conflicted. She ends the movie still scared and conflicted. The only difference is now she can make ice dresses. She goes from complex to shallow in under 2 hours. And the real problem is this. Every other character in Frozen has a clear purpose except Elsa. Anna is the hero. She's on a journey to save her sister in the kingdom. Hans is the villain. Kristoff is the love interest and sidekick. Olaf is the goofy character. And Elsa? She's just there. She's not the hero. She's not the villain. She's not even a proper anti-hero. She's a side character in her own movie. And that's insane because the entire plot revolves around her powers, yet she contributes almost nothing to solving the problem she created. And before you say I'm just a hater who doesn't like strong female characters, hold your horses. Let me ask you something. What is Elsa's personality? Go ahead, I'll wait. She's serious? Okay, what else? She has ice powers? Bro, powers are not a personality. Now compare that to Anna. Anna is energetic, awkward, impulsive, loving, naive, but brave as hell. You can describe her in 5 seconds because she actually has character traits. Elsa, she's serious, she's icy, she's closed off. That's it, that's her entire personality. And the only truly noticeable thing she does in the entire movie is sing. Yes, no doubt the song is great, but why is she singing about empowerment, self-acceptance, and breaking free from expectations while she literally just froze her entire kingdom, ran away, abandoned her traumatized little sister, and left her people to freeze to death? Sounds like a selfish, self-absorbed brat to me, but because the song slaps and the animation is really good, everyone goes, wow, she's so free. No, bro, she's being selfish. And one of the biggest reasons she's badly written is that the plot itself bends over backwards to protect her, even when her actions make zero sense. At the start of the movie, the king and queen decide to isolate Elsa until she learns to control her powers. They shut the gates. They separate her from Anna. Okay, fine. They were kids. But then the parents die. Now it's just Elsa and Anna. They're adults. Anna is literally her only family left. So why does Elsa still keep everything a secret? What's the point? Your only family member spent her entire life thinking her sister hated her and abandoned her. And Elsa never once thought to explain why she kept her distance all those years. Damn, that's cold. And the coronation scene makes her look even worse. That moment is supposed to show that Elsa is scared and trying to protect Anna, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It's the first time they've seen each other after being separated for years. The perfect moment to finally explain everything. But what does Elsa do?
Can't live like this anymore. Then leave. Are you serious?
Yep, she tells her to leave. Like, who the fuck does that? Remember, it's her only sister, her only family, and she gives no explanation, no goddamn apology, just leave. That doesn't make her look protective at all. It just makes her look emotionally careless and kind of a bitch. Then her powers get exposed. The kingdom freaks out. Fair enough, that part was an accident, but then Elsa just leaves. She doesn't try to fix the problem. She doesn't even seem that concerned. Meanwhile, people are literally about to freeze to death, and she's out here making snow monsters and singing about freedom. And if you look at what Elsa actually does after freezing Arendelle, she abandons her throne, leaves her citizens trapped in eternal winter, emotionally abandons her sister again, and creates a giant ice monster that attacks people. Way to go, Ice Queen. Now in the climax, when Elsa is about to be executed by Hans, do you know who saves her? Anna. Anna sacrifices herself, she breaks the curse, she saves Elsa, and she saves the kingdom. Elsa just stands there until it's all already over, after Anna already did all the work. Elsa didn't save the day, she didn't save herself, she didn't save anyone. Anna did everything. Now look, I understand Elsa's trauma. Her parents messed her up. She was taught to repress everything. That explains her fear. But trauma is an explanation, not an excuse. You can be scared and still try. You can be hurt and still show up. Elsa does neither. And at the end of the movie, Elsa still gets a happy ending. She didn't fix the winter. She didn't defeat Hans. She didn't save anyone. Basically, she didn't do shit except... All right, let's move on to another character I think is hella overrated, Michael Myers. And if I'm being honest, I never really liked him. The first movie was good. The second was all right. But after that, it's basically all the same. What I'm saying is, he's basic at best. He's repetitive, overprotected by plot armor. And after watching this man walk slowly for 40 years, I'm tired. So Michael's whole deal is that he kills for no reason, right? He's just pure evil. Cool concept. Terrifying in 1978, but when you stretch that same idea across like 13 movies, it stops being scary and starts being boring as hell. What was once this unsettling force of nature just becomes predictable. Every movie is the same formula. Michael escapes again. He's walking slowly again. He kills someone in the most basic way possible again. There's nothing new. Just the same guy doing the same thing over and over. At least Jason went to space once. And speaking of Jason, he's also a silent slasher like Michael, but he kills as revenge for his mother's death and to protect Camp Crystal Lake. Simple, consistent. You know why he does what he does. Michael, sometimes he's cursed, sometimes he's protecting his house, sometimes he's just evil, sometimes the timeline resets and none of it matters. The franchise has rewritten his motivations so many times that at this point, even he probably doesn't know why he's killing people. He's just out here winging it. The original Halloween worked because Michael was a mystery. You didn't know why he killed. You didn't understand his thoughts. His silence was terrifying because we knew nothing about him. But then the franchise kept going and going. And by the fifth movie, the mystery was just gone. Now he's not mysterious. He's just a mindless killing machine. You can't keep something scary when you overexpose it. He stopped being terrifying the moment we saw too much of him. And don't even get me started on when they tried to explain him, because every single attempt to give Michael a backstory or motivation made him worse. The Thorn Curse? Stupid. The bad childhood angle? We've seen that a million times. The supernatural lore? Lame, and it completely ruined the grounded horror. The more they tried to explain Michael, the less scary he became. And also, he has zero personality whatsoever. Compare Michael to literally any other major horror villain. Freddy Krueger plays mind games, has dark humor, and actually talks. Chucky is funny, chaotic, and full of memorable one-liners.
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Leatherface has psychological depth, family trauma, and actually feels human. Candyman has rich mythology, symbolism, and a tragic backstory. And Michael? He walks, he stares, he stabs. That's it. That's the whole character. A mute guy in a mask who moves at the speed of a broken escalator and can survive everything from getting shot and burned alive to explosions and brutal beatdowns. Now, I'll admit, the 2018 movie was cool at first. Laurie trained for 40 years, turned herself into a survivalist, and became the hunter instead of the victim. That was dope. I liked it. But then they made 3 movies with the exact same setup. Michael comes back. Laurie fights him. He survives. Repeat. At this point, I'm rooting for both of them to just retire. Like, bro, you've been chasing this woman for 4 decades, multiple timelines, endless reboots, countless chances, and you still can't get it done? Bro is that bad at his job. And who can forget this?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
He literally gets his ass kicked by Busta Rhymes. Imagine being a horror icon and getting whooped by a rapper doing kung fu. There is no coming back from that. Look, I get it. Michael Myers is a classic. The original Halloween is one of the greatest horror movies ever made. But let's stop pretending that this character, after 13 movies, is still scary. Moving on to the next and last character, who is also one of the most overrated main characters to ever exist, Harry Potter. I don't know why everyone thinks Harry is this insanely powerful wizard prodigy who single-handedly took down the Dark Lord. But the truth is, Harry Potter is just a Napo baby with a prophecy. Look, Harry's entire reputation, his entire claim to fame, is based on something his mom did. Not him. He was a literal baby when his family was killed. He didn't cast a spell. He didn't fight back. He didn't even know what was happening. He was just there. And it was only because of his mom's sacrificial protection that Voldemort got yeeted into the Shadow Realm and Harry survived. That's it. Yet the wizarding world treats him like some kind of magical prodigy before he even steps into Hogwarts, and it's not just the prophecy carrying him either. Harry also has famous, respected, powerful, and rich parents who were part of the original Order of the Phoenix. He instantly becomes the most famous person in the wizarding world before doing literally anything. He gets recognized everywhere like a celebrity. He's even protected by Dumbledore, the strongest wizard on the planet. And at Hogwarts, he constantly gets away with breaking school rules just because he's Harry Potter. So he's not just chosen by fate, he's also rich, famous, and born into magical royalty. This man won the lottery twice. He's got destiny and privilege. He is the most privileged person in his own universe. Meanwhile, you got other characters like Neville, whose family was destroyed by Death Eaters and who was constantly underestimated and bullied. Hermione, who dealt with non-stop wizard racism. And Ron, who grew up poor and lived in the shadow of his brothers. But yeah, let's all feel bad for Harry because the Dursleys were mean to him. Look, I'm not saying his childhood didn't suck. It absolutely did. But once he got to Hogwarts, man had every advantage in the world. And also, if you haven't noticed, Harry is carried by other characters for the entire series. Hermione carries him academically. She solves the mysteries, does the research, and makes the plans. Ron carries him emotionally and socially. Without Ron, Harry would have had zero friends and zero clue how the wizarding world works. Dumbledore literally manipulates the entire plot to protect Harry and set him up to win. Without them, he would just be an ordinary character. Because the truth is, Harry isn't even all that. He isn't great at magic. He's not the smartest. He's not the most powerful. That's Dumbledore or Voldemort or like 12 other people. He's not even the best in most of his classes. He's average at best. And if you really think about it, the only reason Harry survives half the series is because of luck and other people saving him. In Chamber of Secrets, Harry fights the basilisk, but Fawkes blinds it first and the Sorting Hat literally drops a sword into his hands. In Goblet of Fire, Harry only survives the Triwizard Tournament because a Death Eater disguised as Mad-Eye Moody rigs the whole thing for him. In the Graveyard Duel, Harry survives Voldemort because their wands are twins and the echoes of his parents help him escape. And in Deathly Hallows, Harry defeats Voldemort, except he doesn't. The Elder Wand refuses to kill its true master, so Voldemort's spell rebounds and kills himself. Once again, Harry barely had to do anything, and let's not forget, Voldemort accidentally made Harry unkillable. When Voldemort uses Harry's blood to resurrect himself in Goblet of Fire, he unknowingly preserves Lily's protection inside himself, which means Harry literally could not be fully killed by Voldemort after that point. So not only does the Elder Wand refuse to kill Harry, but Voldemort also gives him a built-in cheat code. Bro really played himself. Once again, Harry just got lucky. And if you don't remember, Harry didn't even truly defeat Voldemort on his own. My boy Neville destroyed the final Horcrux by killing Nagini. Without that, Voldemort was still immortal. Harry could Expelliarmus him all day. It wouldn't have mattered. Neville was the one who made the final kill even possible. But of course, Harry's the chosen one, so he gets all the credit. Now, despite all this, I'll give Harry the credit he actually deserves. His mental strength, emotional resilience, courage, and loyalty. Those are his real powers. He doesn't give up. And honestly, that's way more interesting than being some overpowered magical genius. But the movies and the fandom act like he's one of the most powerful wizards of all time. And that's just not true. Anyways, those were the characters I think are way too overrated. If you got more characters in mind that you think I missed, drop them in the comments. And who knows, maybe I'll make a part 2. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next one.